Hello, welcome. This week's Sutta Study got interrupted by a power outage, um, and we had a great topic. The topic was being gravely ill, and this we will pick up next week, but I'm recording a brief message here. So the suttas we were going to look at centered around Anuruddha and Anuruddha's practice. And Anuruddha is one of my favoritist of bhikkhus practitioners at the time of the Buddha. And Anuruddha typically lives with a number of friends, but really appreciates seclusion. And you see the way that Anuruddha balances these things out. And Anuruddha was approached by a number of bhikkhus and asked about how do you practice when you're gravely ill. I think we'll look at the sutta next week, but I think that Anuruddha had been sick, and they're like, well, how do you manage? And Anuruddha's reply was that he practices with the four foundations of mindfulness. And we'll use that sutta, and we'll use the first sutta from the Anuruddha Samyutta next week to explore further into, well, how do you use the four foundations of mindfulness? This is not a spoiler. This is just a week's way to practice into looking at the suttas next week. That would be what we're doing with the four foundations of mindfulness is we are showing up to reality as it is. We're not pushing away from, we're not pulling towards, we stay steady. The mind stays unaffected by the changing conditions of the passing reality. And we do that in all of the foundations, the body, the feeling tones, what comes through the mind as an emotion or a valence, modality, and also with the way that we practice. So when we're looking at the hindrances or we're looking at the enlightenment factors, in all of these ways, we keep this steadiness. And there's another monastic I know who would occasionally say, uh-huh, with a nod that just, it's like this, it's like this. And I've picked the sutta because I've had a lot of back trouble. Trouble's maybe the wrong word. A lot of back practice. Right there, you can see the difference in the Vedana, the valence, the way that I move with that. And I know others, like I talked with someone who wanted to go to Sutta Study and was walking to urgent care. So well enough to walk, but still, how do you do it? What is your mind like as you're engaged with the world of illness, the world of pain in the body, the world of something that's not functioning in the way that you thought the body was designed to function? Well, it's functioning as designed. It gets sick, it ages, it dies. And so with the four foundations of mindfulness, we can be rooted in reality as we explore, how do I hold this right now? Whether this is an internet outage, a power outage, a power in our society outage, or some sort of power within that's out of the most optimal conditions for functioning. And I will continue to practice with this week, and I hope that you will too. And maybe you'll join us on the Pasadi Vihara's Sutta Study next Tuesday, Pacific time, 8 a.m. You can look that up for your time zone. So may this be a week of blessed practice with whatever conditions you have in your body, in your heart, your mind, your world. And I look forward to seeing you next week. All right.